All right, I was having breakfast at Uncle Bill's Pancake House on Kings Highway, and I looked across the street, and what did I see but a lot of cool, old and new BMWs at a place called Bimmers R Us, which is just right next to Uncle Bill's. So I walked over here, I met the owner, we spoke. He said, "Oh, I'd love to have you come by and see our stuff and do a little shooting," and so that's what we're doing. So what do you think of Bimmers R Us?
Bimmers? How do you spell Bimmers? B-I-M-M-E-R-S, right?
Yep, that's
Bimmers
it.
R Us. Classic cars, I got to tell you. And just from my own perspective, I do have an American car. Nothing against Beamers, but I do buy American. So because somebody's
you're too cheap to buy a BMW, aren't you?
well,
Yeah.
that may be part of it, but no, I don't. I just need transportation to get from point A to point B safely. That's all it is.
Don't you want a little style in your life? Don't you want a little cool?
No, it's just arrested development. And what you wanted when you were 16, 17 years old, now you can maybe afford it, but you know,
Live a little.
No, you got to put your toys away sometime in life. Some people put the toys away when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and some people don't.
The person who dies with the most toys wins, and so I'm planning on winning big, like I win at everything else. But anyway, so we're looking at some of the neat cars. We're going to walk around and show you some of what they have. Now, everybody asks about our mom, but Mom moves a little slow these days.
That's
doesn't
true.
she?
God
Yeah.
bless her. But she's
Yeah.
she's going to be here pretty soon.
Someday
It just takes a long
Someday
time.
we'll all be in our 80s, and I hope we look as good and move as well as our mom does. But you're not going to move as well as you do today. That's just a fact.
Oh. Hey, when I'm 82 years old, if I make it that far, as long as I'm not in a wheelchair and somebody has to shove me around, I'd be blessed. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, depending on who's pushing the wheelchair, I think you'd be doing just fine. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a beautiful showroom here, and we're going to look at some classic cars.
Yeah.
And what kind of car do you have?
Well, I have a Jaguar. I have a Lincoln, 2 Lincolns. I have a Navigator and a town car. And then I also have a Harley Davidson. Yeah.
Is that enough for you?
No, it's not.
Well, you got to keep a used car lot in front of your house.
Gotta keep getting bigger and better. Yeah, what was your first car?
My first car was a Toyota Corolla, and this is when, I don't know, probably 1983, and what happened was American cars, they weren't making the cut. You remember that? You drive them for 60,000 miles, and then they give out, and you buy another car.
They were finding beer cans in the door joints where the workers had, finished one and then just thrown it out of contempt or whatever.
But nowadays, I mean, the cars are more resilient.
Oh yeah, well they've improved.
So
in the last 40 years for sure.
It was a Toyota, and as I forgot what it was. It's a little Toyota. I had to finally take it to the junkyard. And I always remember I went to Taylor's Junkyard. You know where that's at? I don't know.
St. Charles Rock Road.
Are they still there?
Oh yeah, it used to be a drive-in movie theater. Yeah, they're still there, right across from the cemetery.
Well, anyway, I took the car in there, and I said, "Good riddance." And then all of a sudden, these two people come out of nowhere, and they said, "Hey, I'll buy that car for you." And I said, "Well, how much are you going to give me?" And he was going to give me an extra $50 or something. I said, "Well, that's doable." But he said one thing that I'm glad that he told me. He wanted me to keep the license plates on. I said, "No, I'm not going to keep the license plates on. You're going to be hot rodding all around and tickets and everything else." So I said, "No." And so I took it into Taylor's, and Mr. Taylor, God bless his soul.
They charged you by the pound for the parts you brought out, David.
Oh, did they?
Remember that? You bring out a box and you kind of look in there and you say, "Okay, you got about $10 worth of stuff."
Well, your first car was an old Coronet, right?
Yeah, it had alternator problems. Those old Dodges, they'd burn out the alternators. So I'd always go to Taylor's, and if they had a Coronet or Plymouth or something similar, I'd get the alternators because I'd have like 3 or 4 just in case when one of them burned out, I'd have to throw another one in. But I remember, what was that car you had that had the hole in the
Oh, that was
floorboard?
an Omni. I bought an Omni, and it was the oddest thing because there were square cars, and anyway, so this is transportation to get back and forth to work, and then all of a sudden, I looked and they had a mat, so I pulled up the mat because I was vacuuming. And there's plywood underneath there. So I took the plywood off, and it's a big hole right there. It's like the Flintstones, you know, here, let's go to Flintstones. Yeah. And I said, oh my goodness. So I'm driving around, and I said, well, it was a real hot day. And I said, well, I'm sure the air conditioning doesn't work in this thing. So I turned it on anyway. It was the coldest air conditioning I've ever had. I had all three of them blasting on me, and everything
car would
was
slow down by 20 miles per hour when you turn the air conditioning on.
That is true.
If your brakes didn't work, you just turn on the air conditioning, and the car would slow down for you.
That is it. And then what was your second car?
Oh, I had some junkers. I had a Pinto.
Oh, that's right.
That was a piece of
Hey,
dumb.
wait a second.
What else did I have? You know, you forget.
Forget.
Well, I had a, what was that thing, a Cougar? It was a cool-looking car, but you'd have to put a quart of oil in before you could run this thing, and then it would blast black smoke out of the tailpipe.
I remember you got pulled over once because it is so much smoke coming out of your exhaust. The police officer pulled you over, and then he goes, what are you doing back there with all this gas coming out, or all those fumes coming out? Are you chasing mosquitoes or something? I thought that was pretty funny.
He says, is this a diesel Cougar? No, it's not diesel.
Yeah. But this is memory lane with cars.
All right, so I guess Mom, she's working her way up. She'll be here in just a second. So.
All right, so we're going to have a quick break.
Yeah.
And my mom will be right back. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Don't leave us. Hi, Dan.
And Ed, here from Brown & Brown. We were born and raised in Spanish Lake, went to grade school at Twillman, high school at Hazelwood East, college at Mizzou, and law school at St. Louis U.
By now, I hope you also like our infomercials, where we explore St. Louis and beyond, featuring our wonderful mother.
So if you've been hurt in a car crash or hurt on the job, call us now.
In Missouri, dial all threes, 333-3333. In Illinois, dial all eights, 888-8888. And at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
we'll come to you.
Hi, I'm Ed Brown, attorney at Brown & Brown. A lot of people have asked me why I wear an eye patch. Well, when I was young, I hurt my eye, and that's why I wear a patch. I know what it is like to overcome a lifelong injury. So if you've been hurt in a car wreck, on the job or elsewhere, give Brown & Brown a call. In Missouri, dial all threes, 333-3333. In Illinois, dial all eights, 888-8888. And remember, at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
hello, and guess what? Here's my mother. God bless her.
Hey, she's my mom too.
Hey, wait a second. I'm on a quit pulling her.
always liked me
Quit
best.
pulling her.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my mom wants to talk about, what are you going to talk
Well,
about?
everybody has car stories, right? Everybody. So I can't top yours or yours.
I think you can.
But we had a series of Dodges. Remember, we had a Dart.
Yeah, we were a Dodge family.
Yes, Holford Dodge, Alton, Illinois. And
Are they still in business?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
I don't know for sure, but I think so. And I had a Dodge Intrepid. All good cars, good Dodges. But going way back, my mother in the 20s, about 1920, because she was born in 1902, and she had a Model T Ford.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. She was popular.
She was a flapper.
She was a flapper, yes she was. And her mother was somewhat envious of her driving that Model T Ford all around. So we called her Granny. Granny decided she wanted to learn to drive.
Oh, goodness, I never knew this.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
And what was the car you said her husband had with a Doozer?
A Duesenberg, which is where the term "it's a doozy" comes from.
Oh, a
It's a
Duesenberg.
good car. It was expensive.
So, okay, she's going to learn to drive. Now, she was pretty elderly at that time. Anyway, she took it out and ran it into a ditch.
Uh-oh.
Now, this was Belleville, Illinois.
What year were we talking about?
Oh, I'd say 1917, maybe. Oh my God!
That was her first and last driving experience. And from then on, everybody would drive her around, right? She never did learn how to drive.
No, that was it. The family said that's it.
Yeah.
Now, that's your grandmother, correct?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yes,
Our great-grandmother.
my grandmother. So that was it for her in learning to drive. But what amazed me were the ditches. Ditches were everywhere back then, before they had sidewalks.
Well, yeah,
And
you had
if
horses, and all that horse excrement had to wind up somewhere.
Yeah, and horse troughs you had too. I remember
Yeah.
a horse trough and all.
Sure.
But anyway, that was my grandmother's story, and we all got a kick out of that. But loved her. Didn't want to.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Gaga.
We didn't want to drive with
She
her.
was the original Lady Gaga.
Yes, that's true.
Right. We
And
did.
that was because Ed couldn't pronounce grandmother, so it's Gaga.
I was the oldest
Yeah.
And then that kind of stuck. And
grandchild. So.
to this day,
Gaga.
anytime I reference my grandmother,
Well, the real name was Myrtle.
Myrtle.
she
Myrtle.
never liked that name.
She never liked it. I always thought it was very pretty. Myrtle Elizabeth.
Yeah, old German name.
And anyway, that's some of my car stories.
We got a million of them. Stay tuned.
Yes. Well, going across my pop, we'd go on vacation in a Mercury or something like that. So it'd be 4 boys, and we're very young. Like Ed was 10, and then 8, and then 7, and then 5. And it was my dad, God bless his soul, he got more frazzled by the end of the trip. Usually you go on vacation to, mellow out and everything. But no, I mean, my dad's like, knock it off. And he turned around and just arbitrarily, boom, boom. And while he's sitting in the back, I said, oh, get Bill, don't get me.
And he smoked the whole time.
Oh my God.
With the windows up and the air conditioner. Oh,
I remember through Kansas, I was specifically, it was choking. I mean, to tell you, and thank goodness, knock on wood, there's no wood around. Well, all right, knock on wood, never took up the cigarette smoking.
No,
we got enough secondhand smoke for one lifetime.
That's true.
Right, but I remember that term was our family motto, knock it off back there.
Would you knock it off? Boom, boom.
They were constantly pestering one another.
Oh my goodness.
Dan was a little hyper, and we couldn't handle.
No, what happened was you'd have 3 people in the front seat and 3 people in the back, and for whatever reason they stick me in the front seat, and that way, when they were acting up in the back seat, he'd go in the back seat and whop on my brothers because I was too easy of a target. But those are fun vacation days.
What you liked was that a little
CB radio.
CB
Oh,
radio, the Ragin' Cajun. Remember that handle?
Breaker 19, breaker 19. We got a convoy here. How's that song going? We got a great big convoy crossing through the night.
I don't think we cleared that song.
Uh-oh. Let's erase that. All of a sudden, cease and desist of that song, for
another
goodness sakes. Unless you pay us $1,000, we are gonna haul you through the court system. So forget that. You never heard it. All right, so what else we got for anything, Mother? It's good that you're here.
Yeah, always glad to see Mom. And now Greg's going to show us around the dealership.
And that's going to be a neat process.
Owner Greg.
Good to see all of you again.
Hey!
Hey.
All right, from Brown and Brown, don't change the channel. No, look. For her sake, don't change the channel, please.
Okay.
Don't take Mom hostage, Dan.
Okay.
Not permitted.
All right.
Okay, we're at Bimmers R Us on Kings Highway next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House, and this is Greg, the owner. Tell us about yourself, Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg Stroud, owner of Bimmers R Us. We started this company in 1987 in my parents' garage in Richmond Heights, and shortly thereafter in Richmond Heights, the city kind of got upset with us and kicked us out. So we had to find a place to go, and we found a place on the hill. It was 5019 Daggett, and it was right next door to Ragazzi's. We were there for 11 years. It was a great start to our company. This building came available in 2000, and we bought this building and made it what it is now, and it is a ton of fun. We have a lot of passion for BMWs.
What drew you to BMWs?
Yeah, what really brought me to BMWs was my brother had one, and he blew up the engine. I think I was 14 years old. He blew up the engine. He took it to a place called Splitsguard in Brentwood years ago, and they put a motor in it. It was $8,000. And me being a kid, I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. Maybe I could do that someday. And kind of instilled in me. And believe it or not, I quit high school and got my GED and went straight to tech school and learned how to be a mechanic and started my own company. And it's worked out really well. Blessed, I call it.
Show us some of your cars and tell us stories
Sure.
about. You started working on these, right?
So this green car here is a 1975 2002. It is kind of what put BMW kind of on the market. It was a sedan car that was kind of a family car, but it was a pretty inexpensive car for I guess I call a white collar worker. Definitely a neat, nostalgic car. Now these cars have gone such a value. The value has really changed around. This car now is a $50,000 car.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what did it sell when it was new?
probably about 9. Yeah. So the difference in what it was and what it is, it's sought after.
I've always heard cars are the worst investment you can make. Well, not this one.
Not that one,
Yeah.
right? If you owned it back then and you kept the miles low and that kind of thing.
Right.
But we've tried to find these cars all over the country, and when we do find them, we kind of curate them and try to make them the way they were and try to bring them back to the nostalgic, way they were.
Now, being a motorcycle guy, I find this a lot of fun. The BMW cycle with the sidecar.
So this here is a 1969. I'm not sure what model it is, but it's a 1969. I just recently bought it from one of my customers. He owned it, brand new, 1969. He put 300,000 miles on it.
Wow.
He's a Vietnam vet, and he's super cool. He buys a lot of cars from us, and he's an interesting guy. But he said that his wife is the only person that ever rode in the sidecar. The sidecar's from 1960. And 300,000 miles. That's a lot of miles on a bike.
That's a lot of miles. That's around the world 10 times, 12 times.
Have you ever done 100,000 miles on a bike?
I ride around the neighborhood. That's about all I ride anymore. But this is a great looking car. I always picture World War II movies when I see one of these. You have the colonel riding in the sidecar and one of his sergeants, behind the seat here. And yeah, that's something Steve McQueen maybe,
This will be
around.
in our museum. We are building a museum right
Awesome.
now at 2744 LaSalle down in the Floral District, the Florist Road District. And we're building a museum, and this will be on display in our museum with many of our other cars.
Well, speaking of museum pieces, let's take a look at your, hi Mom. We're going to take a look at this. What does this remind you of?
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, doesn't that look great? Now, what's this we're looking at?
So this is a 1959 BMW Isetta, and it is basically an Italian designer and Germans actually got together and figured out that this was a car that they needed to make as a commuter car, and the car gets 80 miles to the gallon. It's a one-cylinder 300cc engine. It goes about 40 miles an hour, downhill with the wind. I'm sure your motorcycle is much faster.
Right.
And the engine's actually bigger. But it's a real interesting car. Not safe, really, nowadays, No airbags, no bumpers, no kind of things like that.
No.
But if you grab that handle in front
This?
and turn that handle, and pull it open.
Oh, look at that.
That's how you actually get in the car.
And the steering wheel comes up. Check this out. I'll do it again. Isn't that cool? Steering wheel pops up and you hop in. Oh, the battery's under the seat?
Battery's under the seat.
It's a lawn and garden. It's a lawnmower battery?
Exactly, yeah. Isn't it cool?
That's awesome. You got the keys in it. Go for a spin.
Yeah. It runs, but it's probably been a little while since it ran. Then there you go, now turn.
There we go.
So this one, and I have a larger one of this.
You do?
It's called a BMW 600, which has a back seat.
Oh boy.
Believe it or not.
That was a great innovation.
And that car also gets 80 miles to a gallon, but that is a 2-cylinder engine, 600 cc's, where this is a 1-cylinder, 300 cc's.
So that'll go 41 miles an hour.
Well, it does about 50 actually.
Oh, 50?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Speed demon.
With a couple people in the car with you. So that's kind of
So the weight,
interesting.
even with the weight, you can go a little faster.
This car I got, I think, in 2000, and the other one that's bigger, believe it or not, I had a friend that used to follow the Grateful Dead.
Really?
And we used to service the car, and he would go out on the road and follow the Dead. When Jerry Garcia died, he said, I'm not going to be following the Dead anymore. Would you like to buy it? I bought it.
Fantastic. Well, Jerry would love a car like this, I'm sure. It fits his hippie image and lifestyle.
He actually was a 2002 driver. He drove 2002. Jerry Garcia did.
No kidding.
Yeah. He's a BMW guy.
No, well, that's a recommendation I can't beat right there. Yeah, following the Dead around in your BMW.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I really enjoyed talking with you.
it was great. Thank you.
And it's Bimmers or Us on Kings Highway, and it's right next to Uncle Bill's. And if you don't know where Uncle Bill's in, you're not a St. Louisan.
Hurt in a car wreck or hurt on the job? Call Brown & Brown now for a risk-free consultation. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
Questions? We'll answer them for you, risk-free. At Brown & Brown, we'll fight for you and your legal rights.
We only get paid if you collect. So if you've been injured in a car wreck or hurt on the job, call Brown & Brown now. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
And at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
We'll come to you. Hi, we're in front of the Casaloma Ballroom, and this place has been here for a long, long time. Ed, how long has it been?
It's 1927.
What?
Yes.
Sheesh. Okay, go ahead. And
92
what do you know about it?
years. Well, it's a great place. Mom saw the crew cuts here.
The crew,
She,
the crew cuts. I mean, forget the Rolling Stones, forget Led Zeppelin. The crew cuts were.
Well, they were very popular in the early 1950s.
All right.
And I was over here from Alton, and I thought I was the other end of the earth. In South St. Louis. I knew nothing about it,
bunch of teenage girls. Right?
but we had to see the crew cuts.
And were you satisfied at the end?
Oh, heavens, yes. We sang and danced, and this is a wonderful place. And it is still open?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Good.
So,
Saw a wrestling match here about a year ago.
all right.
Yeah.
Now, who are some of the personalities who've been here?
Well, we got a lot, but Ed, who do
What
you?
else do I know about the neighborhood?
Yes.
Well, the Warenberg Theater started right here.
Yes.
It was Fred Warenberg. He had a saloon, and he went to the 1904 World's Fair, and he saw a film of a train, just an early video for you kids out there. And he saw that, and he thought, well, this is the future. So he started a little theater right next to his saloon, and his son played the drums, and his wife played the piano, and his saloon doubled as a concession stand. You could go over there and get some chips or whatever you wanted. And Fred built that up to a huge chain
Conglomerate and everything else.
Yeah, it's still, the theaters are still around, but Warenberg isn't.
Yes.
They sold out to Marcus, I think.
Marcus or AMC?
Yeah, I think AMC bought some, Marcus bought some.
Okay, now Dan's going to discuss the personalities.
Well, I
have
don't
been
know.
here.
All right, I got a list, okay? I can't remember everything, but of course the Crew Cuts, my mom's favorite band, Billy Peak, the Smothers Brothers they were here. That's kind of interesting. The Smothers Brothers. I mean, that would have been kind of. Are they still alive?
Oh yeah.
They are?
Oh yeah, they're still.
Boy, they got to be
I think they still
mother
perform.
earmuffs. They got to be in their 80s at least. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
The famous line was, "Mom always liked you best."
Oh.
Yeah. 80s is young.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. The new 80s
80 is the new 70.
That's true. And then, Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby.
I'm dreaming of
Oh,
a
yeah,
white Christmas. But it's not Christmas time. Louis Armstrong. That's pretty cool. Tony Bennett.
He played everywhere, I
He's still
think.
around.
Yes, he
And
is.
he's still living. I mean, he's played
90s,
everywhere,
yeah.
yeah.
And Bill Haley and the Comets.
Rock around the clock.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
That's it.
5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Beginning
8
of
o'clock,
Happy
rock.
Days, yeah.
Ha, da, da, da. Yeah, that's right. Now let's regress to Happy Days. No, Chuck Berry was here. Sheesh.
Yeah, I'm sure he played here a few times.
And last but not least, did I say Andy Williams already?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
But he was here.
Yeah.
So
Your
a lot
mom
of
liked
people.
Andy Williams.
And Stewart, Rod Stewart.
Well, Rod Stewart's Billy Peake was with Rod Stewart, but I don't think
gotcha.
Rod Stewart actually crossed this barrier right here. But maybe so. You know what? I always would think it'd be kind of neat, since I never got in the back way, to walk around and knock on the door and then be able to get in that way. But anyways, it's just kind of it's in.